There's one type of woman who can completely derail even the strongest Sigma male. She doesn't announce herself. She doesn't come with warning labels. But once she's in your life, she systematically destroys your peace, your progress, and your purpose. And most men don't see her coming until it's too late. Look, I need to be upfront about something. This video isn't about bashing women or promoting bitterness. This is about pattern recognition and self-preservation. There's a specific personality type that's fundamentally incompatible with Sigma males. Not bad women, not evil women. Just women whose operating system creates a toxic dynamic with how we're wired. And understanding this incompatibility can save you years of frustration, wasted energy, and destroyed ambitions. Today, I'm breaking down the exact traits that make this type of woman dangerous, specifically to Sigma males, how to spot these patterns early, and what to do when you recognize them. This might be the most important relationship advice I ever give you. Now, let's talk about the relationship pattern that can destroy everything you've built. Trait 1. Emotional volatility as a baseline. The chaos creator operates from constant emotional instability. Her moods swing wildly and unpredictably. What was fine yesterday is a crisis today. What made her happy this morning makes her angry this afternoon. You can't establish baseline expectations because there is no baseline. Every day is navigating a new emotional landscape. For Sigma males, this is absolutely devastating. We need stability to build, create, and achieve. Our minds work best in calm, predictable environments where we can focus deeply on meaningful work. When you're with a chaos creator, your mental energy is constantly diverted to emotional crisis management. You can't plan anything because her emotional state might make those plans impossible. You can't focus on important work because you're always one text away from needing to manage her latest breakdown. I dated a woman like this for 8 months. Every single day brought some new emotional crisis. A perceived slight from a coworker. An anxiety spiral about something that might happen. A depressive episode triggered by social media. A rage explosion over a minor inconvenience. My entire life became about managing her emotions. I couldn't work on my business because I needed to be available for her crises. I couldn't pursue my goals because she needed constant reassurance and attention. My productivity collapsed. My progress stalled. My peace evaporated. That's what emotional volatility does to Sigma males. It transforms us from builders into crisis managers. And we can't build anything meaningful while managing constant chaos. Trait 2. Validation. Addiction that never gets satisfied. The chaos creator has an insatiable need for external validation. Your reassurance, your compliments, your attention, none of it is ever enough. She needs constant confirmation that she's attractive, valuable, important. And for Sigma males, this is exhausting. We're not validation dispensers. We don't operate in a mode of constant reassurance and emotional cheerleading. We show appreciation through actions, not words. We demonstrate value through commitment, not constant verbal affirmation. But the chaos creator needs words, constantly, multiple times per day. And if you don't provide them, she interprets your silence as rejection, indifference, or proof that you don't care. I remember being criticized for not telling a woman she looked beautiful enough times in a day. I told her once in the morning, but apparently that wasn't sufficient. She needed to hear it multiple times, unprompted, throughout the day. This pattern extended to everything. I couldn't just be present. I had to verbally confirm my presence. I couldn't just be committed. I had to constantly articulate my commitment. I couldn't just care. I had to perform caring through endless validation. It was exhausting, and it never ended. No amount of validation satisfied her, because the need came from internal insecurity, not external absence. For Sigma males, this dynamic is impossible to maintain. We're not performers. We're not going to spend our lives providing emotional validation to someone whose sense of self-worth is entirely external. We need partners who are secure in themselves, who don't need constant reassurance, who can interpret our actions as evidence of commitment without needing constant verbal confirmation. The chaos creator can't do this, and that incompatibility will destroy the relationship. Trait 3. Manufactured drama to feel alive. This is perhaps the most toxic trait. The chaos creator manufactures drama when life is calm because she's uncomfortable with peace. She'll start arguments over nothing. She'll create problems that don't exist. She'll interpret neutral situations as conflicts. She'll manufacture tests and crises to generate emotional intensity. Why? Because drama is her normal. Calm feels wrong to her. So she unconsciously creates chaos to return to her comfort zone. For Sigma males, this is absolutely intolerable. We value peace above almost everything. We've built our lives to minimize unnecessary conflict and drama. We protect our calm ruthlessly, but the chaos creator destroys that calm. Just when things are stable and you can focus on important work, she'll manufacture a crisis that demands your attention. I experienced this firsthand. Things would be going well, work was productive, relationship was calm, life was good. Then suddenly, she'd find something to be upset about. A conversation I had with a female colleague 2 weeks ago. A comment I made that she was now reinterpreting as hurtful. A decision I made independently that she now felt excluded from. The pattern was clear. Whenever life was peaceful, she'd create drama. Because peace made her anxious. She needed the emotional intensity of conflict to feel engaged and alive. This meant I could never actually relax. Even when things were objectively fine, I was waiting for the next manufactured crisis. That constant tension is poison to Sigma males. We can handle real problems. We're excellent at solving actual crises. But manufactured drama designed to create emotional intensity, that's just chaos for chaos's sake, and we won't tolerate it. Trait 4. Zero accountability for her impact. The chaos creator never takes responsibility for the chaos she creates. It's always someone else's fault. Always circumstances. Always other people's behavior triggering her reactions. She'll explode emotionally and then blame you for making her feel that way. She'll create drama and then accuse you of being the dramatic one for responding to it. She'll break your trust and then make you feel guilty for not trusting her. This lack of accountability makes growth impossible. You can't address problems if she won't acknowledge her role in creating them. For Sigma males, this is a deal breaker. We value personal responsibility. We take ownership of our actions and expect others to do the same. We can work with flawed people who acknowledge their flaws. We can't work with people who refuse to admit they have any. The chaos creator will never say, "I overreacted," or "I created that problem," or "that was my fault." Instead, she'll find a way to make her behavior your responsibility. This creates a dynamic where you're constantly walking on eggshells, trying to avoid triggering her reactions, while she takes zero responsibility for managing her own emotional state. That's not partnership. That's servitude. And Sigma males won't accept it. Trait 5. Mission sabotage disguised as need. This is the most insidious trait. The chaos creator will systematically sabotage your goals and ambitions, while framing it as needing your attention and time. You're building a business? She'll create crises that pull you away from important work. You're pursuing a meaningful goal? She'll demand time and attention during crucial moments. You're in deep focus on something important? She'll interrupt with emergencies that aren't actually emergencies. She doesn't do this consciously. She genuinely feels she needs you. But the pattern is clear. Your mission suffers while her needs expand. For Sigma males, this is devastating. Our missions aren't hobbies. They're core to who we are. We need partners who respect and support our pursuits, not ones who compete with them for our attention. I watched my business nearly collapse because I was constantly diverted to relationship crises. Important client calls interrupted by emotional emergencies. Critical work deadlines missed because she needed me right then. Strategic thinking impossible because I was always in crisis management mode. When I finally ended that relationship and redirected my energy back to my mission, my business rebounded within months because I wasn't spending half my mental energy managing someone else's emotional chaos. That's what the Chaos Creator does. She doesn't enhance your mission. She sabotages it while making you feel guilty for prioritizing your work. Notice what all these traits have in common? They all require constant external management, endless emotional labor, and the sacrifice of your peace and focus. For other masculine archetypes, this might be manageable. Alphas might have the energy for constant emotional management. Betas might accept the servitude dynamic. But Sigma males, we're wired differently. We need stability to build and create, peace to think deeply and strategically, partners who are self-sufficient, not dependent, relationships that enhance our mission, not compete with it, emotional calm, not constant drama. The Chaos Creator provides the opposite of all of this. She's fundamentally incompatible with how we operate. And the worst part? She'll often be attracted to Sigma males specifically because we represent the stability she lacks. She'll see our calm and want to possess it, our focus and want to disrupt it, our self-sufficiency and want to make us need her. But we can't give her what she needs without destroying what makes us who we are. The good news? These patterns reveal themselves early if you're watching for them. Here are the early warning signs. First few dates. She shares intensely personal information too quickly. Her emotional reactions are disproportionate to circumstances. She creates minor drama to see how you'll respond. First month. She needs constant contact and gets anxious with normal space. She manufactures small tests to check your commitment. She has frequent emotional crises that require your management. First 3 months. She's already interfering with your goals and schedule. She demands you prove your commitment through sacrifice. She creates drama whenever things are calm. If you see these patterns early, walk away. Don't convince yourself it'll get better. These are core personality structures, not temporary behaviors. If you're reading this and recognizing your current relationship, you have 2 options. Option 1. Have a direct conversation about these patterns. Make it clear that you need stability, peace, and respect for your mission. Give her the opportunity to recognize and change these behaviors. But be realistic. Deep personality patterns rarely change, especially if there's no acknowledgement that they're problematic. Option 2. End the relationship. Accept that you're fundamentally incompatible and move on. I know that sounds harsh. But here's the reality. You cannot build the life you're capable of building while managing constant chaos. You cannot achieve your potential while serving as someone else's emotional support system. Your mission matters. Your peace matters. Your potential matters. Don't sacrifice all of that for a relationship with someone who's fundamentally incompatible with who you are. The Chaos Creator isn't evil. She's not trying to destroy you. She's just operating from a completely different system than you are. But that incompatibility is real and destructive. And recognizing it early can save you years of frustration and lost progress. Not every woman is this type. But this type exists, and they're often attracted to Sigma males specifically because we represent what they lack. Your job is to recognize the pattern, protect your peace, and choose partners who enhance your life rather than complicating it. Because you deserve relationships that support your mission, not ones that sabotage it. If you've experienced this dynamic and recognized these patterns, drop a comment with the word patterns and tell me which trait you encountered most. And if this video helped you understand why certain relationships felt so exhausting, hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into building relationships that actually work for Sigma males. Remember, you're not obligated to fix people who make your life chaos. You're allowed to choose peace instead. Until next time, protect your calm. While everyone's swiping, matching, and chasing, there's a growing number of high-value men who've completely checked out of dating. Not because they can't get women, but because they've done the math and realized dating isn't worth it anymore. And their lives have never been better. This is going to trigger a lot of people, but it needs to be said. Sigma males are walking away from dating in record numbers. And we're not sitting around, lonely and depressed about it. We're building empires, pursuing passions, and living more fulfilling lives than most men in relationships. I'm not talking about MG Tao or some bitter rejection of women. I'm talking about rational men who've evaluated modern dating, calculated the return on investment, and decided it's not worth their time, energy, or resources. Today, I'm breaking down exactly why Sigma males are opting out of dating, and why, contrary to what society tells you, we're happier for it. Let's get into the uncomfortable reality. Reason 1. The cost-benefit analysis doesn't add up anymore. Let me start with pure economics. Sigma males think in terms of return on investment for everything, including relationships. And when you actually calculate what modern dating costs versus what it provides, the numbers are brutal. Time investment, hours on dating apps, texting, planning dates, driving to meet people who misrepresented themselves in their profiles. Then multiply that by the dozens of failed matches before you find someone remotely compatible. Financial investment, dinners, drinks, activities, gifts. Even if you split some costs, you're still hemorrhaging money on people you barely know and probably won't see again. Emotional investment, managing expectations, dealing with games, navigating mixed signals, processing rejection or delivering it. And what's the return? For most men, a mediocre relationship with someone who's settling for them while keeping options open on dating apps. Or worse, a toxic dynamic that actively makes their life worse. I did this calculation 3 years ago. Tallied up the hours I'd spent on dating apps and dates over a year. Estimated the money I'd burned. Assessed the emotional energy I'd invested. The number was staggering. I'd spent roughly 300 hours and several $1,000s to end up with exactly nothing of lasting value. No meaningful connection, no personal growth, just exhaustion and frustration. Then I asked myself, what could I have done with those 300 hours and that money if I'd invested them in myself instead? I could have learned a new skill, built a side business, written a book, mastered a language, gotten in the best shape of my life. Instead, I'd spent them trying to impress women who weren't that impressive themselves, having conversations that went nowhere, and hoping something would develop that almost never did. That realization changed everything. Why was I investing premium resources, my time, money, and energy, into an activity with near zero return when I could invest those same resources into activities with compounding returns? Since I stopped dating and redirected those resources into self-development, my income has doubled, My physique has transformed, and I've built skills that will serve me for decades. Dating gave me frustration and disappointment. Self-investment gave me capability and confidence. The math isn't even close. Reason 2. Modern dating culture has become a psychological nightmare. Even if the economics worked out, the psychology of modern dating has become absolutely toxic. Women are simultaneously dating multiple men while expecting exclusive emotional investment from each. They're keeping options open indefinitely while demanding you close yours. They're using dating apps like validation machines, matching with dozens of men they have no intention of meeting, just to feel desired. You're not dating a person anymore. You're competing with her phone, her attention span, her limitless options, and her inflated sense of what she deserves. I remember a date where the woman checked her phone 17 times in 90 minutes. I counted. Every notification was a potential better option, pulling her attention away from the actual human sitting across from her. And this wasn't unusual. This was standard. Everyone's perpetually distracted, perpetually comparing, perpetually wondering if they could do better. How do you build genuine connection in that environment? You can't. Because genuine connection requires presence, focus, and commitment to see where something could go. But modern dating culture has eliminated all three. Instead, you get shallow interactions with distracted people who are simultaneously shopping for better options while expecting you to treat them like they're the only option. For Sigma males, this is intolerable. We value depth, authenticity, and focus. We're not interested in competing for attention with an algorithm designed to prevent genuine connection. So we opt out. Not because we can't compete, but because the game itself is fundamentally broken and not worth playing. Reason 3. Quality. Women are rarer than ever. This is going to sound harsh, but it's observable reality. The percentage of women who would actually enhance a high-value man's life has plummeted. I'm not talking about looks or surface-level attraction. I'm talking about the qualities that make someone a good partner. Emotional stability, genuine kindness, loyalty, shared values, complementary energy, actual contribution to your life. These traits have become extremely rare. Most women bring nothing to the table except demands and expectations. They want traditional male provision and protection, while offering none of the traditional female contributions. They expect to be prioritized while refusing to prioritize in return. I've dated women with impressive careers and degrees who couldn't cook a basic meal, had no domestic skills, brought constant drama, and expected me to handle all relationship management while they contributed nothing but their presence. And when I'd point out the asymmetry, that I was providing financial stability, emotional support, problem solving, and leadership while they were providing what exactly? I'd be told I was being controlling or stuck in the past. But here's the thing. I'm not demanding traditional roles. I'm asking for reciprocity. If you want modern equality, great. We split everything 50-50. But if you want traditional male behavior from me, I expect traditional female behavior from you. You don't get to demand I pay for everything, lead everything, and fix everything while you contribute nothing but your company. For Sigma males, this deal is insulting. We're not so desperate for female companionship that we'll accept terrible deals just to avoid being alone. So we stay single. Because being alone is infinitely better than being with someone who detracts from your life while acting like they're doing you a favor by being there. Reason 4. The freedom is too valuable to sacrifice. Once you've experienced the freedom of being single and self-directed, the idea of sacrificing it for a mediocre relationship becomes unthinkable. No one questioning your choices, No one demanding explanations for how you spend your time. No one creating drama over nothing. No one requiring emotional management. No one placing limitations on your goals or decisions. Just pure, uninterrupted freedom to build the life you actually want. I wake up when I want, work on what I want, travel when I want, make decisions based solely on my own judgment, pursue goals without needing anyone's approval or having to compromise for someone else's preferences. This freedom is incredible. And once you have it, the idea of trading it for someone who's going to limit it becomes absurd. But relationships can enhance your freedom. Can they? In theory, yes. In practice, with modern women, almost never. Most modern relationships involve constant negotiation, compromise, and restriction of your autonomy. Your partner wants input on your career decisions, your time allocation, your social life, your hobbies, your finances, and for what? What are you getting in return that justifies surrendering this autonomy? For most men, the honest answer is sex and companionship. That's it. But here's the reality for Sigma males. We've learned to meet our needs without surrendering our freedom. We don't need relationships for validation, emotional regulation, or even regular companionship. We are complete on our own. So the relationship would have to add something truly exceptional to our already satisfying lives to justify the freedom cost. And most women simply can't clear that bar. They're not exceptional. They're average people expecting exceptional treatment. So we stay free. Because freedom to build the life we want is more valuable than companionship with someone who limits that life. Reason 5. Peace is underrated and relationships destroy it. This might be the most important reason. Sigma males have discovered that peace of mind is more valuable than almost anything else. And modern relationships absolutely destroy peace. The drama, the emotional volatility, the tests, the insecurity, the jealousy, the need for constant reassurance, the manufactured conflicts, the social media performances. It's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. I used to think stress from work was bad. Then I experienced stress from a toxic relationship. And I realized work stress was nothing. Work stress you can solve through effort and strategy. Relationship stress is just chaos you have to endure. Coming home used to be a relief from work stress. But when home became the source of stress, walking in not knowing what mood she'd be in, what complaint she'd have, what problem I'd need to solve, it became a nightmare. I remember thinking, I used to love coming home. Now I dread it. What am I doing? That's when I realized, this relationship is making my life measurably worse. I'm less happy, less productive, less at peace. Why am I maintaining it? When I ended it and returned to single life, the relief was immediate. My stress levels dropped. My productivity soared. My happiness returned. I traded peace for companionship and realized the companionship wasn't worth the price. Since then, I've protected my peace ruthlessly. And that means being extremely selective about who gets access to my life. Most women, even decent ones, bring more chaos than calm. So I stay single, because peace of mind is worth more than having someone around. Reason 6. Self-investment yields better returns. Here's something that became crystal clear once I stopped dating. The resources I was pouring into dating yield exponentially better returns when invested in myself. Every hour I spent trying to impress women, I now spend building skills, businesses, and capabilities. Every dollar I spent on dates, I now spend on tools, education, and assets that appreciate rather than experiences that evaporate. The compounding effect is massive. 3 years of focused self-investment has transformed my life in ways a relationship never could. My income has tripled. My knowledge has expanded dramatically. My capabilities have multiplied. And here's the kicker. If I ever did want a relationship now, I'm dramatically more attractive than I was when I was actively dating, because I spent years building myself rather than chasing women. The irony is perfect. Men who chase women become less attractive. Men who chase excellence become more attractive. But I don't want a relationship now, because I've seen what I can accomplish when I'm not distracted by one. And the accomplishment is more satisfying than any relationship I've had. This is what most men don't understand. The satisfaction from building something meaningful, from achieving difficult goals, from becoming capable and competent. It's deeper and more lasting than the satisfaction from relationships. Relationships provide temporary emotional highs. Achievement provides permanent fulfillment. Here's what society doesn't want you to know. Men don't need relationships to be happy. We're perfectly capable of creating fulfilling lives on our own. Society pushes relationships because it benefits from men being coupled up. Coupled men are more compliant, more financially productive, easier to control through obligation to family. Single men, especially competent single men, are dangerous to existing systems because we're ungovernable. We don't have the leverage points, spouse, kids, mortgage, that keep most men in line. So, society shames male singleness. You'll die alone. You'll regret not having a family. You're missing out on life's greatest joy. All lies designed to get men back on the plantation. The truth? Plenty of men die alone in nursing homes, despite having been married and having kids who never visit. Plenty of men deeply regret the marriages that consumed their resources and destroyed their dreams. And life's greatest joy isn't the same for everyone. For Sigma males, the greatest joy is often autonomy, achievement, and the freedom to build the life we envision, not the life society says we should want. So, what does this voluntary singleness actually look like day to day? It looks like waking up and having complete control over your day, working on projects that matter to you, building skills you choose to build, pursuing goals that align with your values. It looks like having energy for things that actually advance your life instead of depleting it on relationship maintenance. It looks like peace instead of drama, focus instead of distraction, progress instead of stagnation. It looks like evaluating your life by your own standards, rather than living up to someone else's expectations. And it looks like being genuinely content, not the performance of contentment. Actually satisfied with life. Is it perfect? No. There are trade-offs. Occasional loneliness, no built-in companionship, no regular intimacy. But here's the thing. Those trade-offs are worth it. The benefits of freedom, peace, and self-directed progress outweigh the costs of occasional loneliness. And honestly, the loneliness is overrated. I'm too busy building things that matter to feel lonely most of the time. Before anyone says this is bitter or anti-woman, it's not. This is pure rational calculation. I don't hate women. I'm not angry at them. I just recognize that modern dating dynamics make relationships a bad investment of my resources for my specific goals and values. If you're a man whose goals and values are different, relationships might make sense for you. Great. This video isn't saying all men should be single. I'm saying that for Sigma males, men who value autonomy, peace, and self-directed achievement above companionship, being single is often the rational choice. We've done the math, we've evaluated the options, we've calculated the returns, and we've decided that investing in ourselves yields better outcomes than investing in dating. This isn't a coping mechanism. This isn't sour grapes. This is a deliberate strategic choice based on clear assessment of reality. Society will tell you that you need a relationship to be complete, that you're missing out, that you'll regret this choice. Don't believe it. Sigma males who've chosen to opt out of dating aren't suffering. We're thriving. We're building businesses while others are managing relationship drama. We're developing skills while others are negotiating compromises. We're achieving goals while others are sacrificing theirs for partners who won't appreciate it. And we're happy, genuinely, authentically happy. Not the performance of happiness. Real satisfaction with lives we've built according to our own vision. If you're a Sigma male who's been feeling guilty about not dating or pressure to get into a relationship, let this be your permission to do what you actually want. You don't owe anyone a relationship. You don't owe society conformity to its expectations. You don't owe women access to your resources and time. You owe yourself the life you actually want to live. And if that life doesn't include dating right now, or ever, that's completely valid. If you've opted out of dating and found yourself happier for it, drop a comment with the word freedom and tell me which benefit you value most. And if this video validated your choice to focus on yourself instead of chasing relationships, hit that like button and subscribe. I'm speaking truth for men who've calculated that dating isn't worth it anymore. Remember, you don't need anyone's permission to choose the life you want. And if that life doesn't include dating, that's your choice to make. Until next time, stay free.